Alexander saw the breadth of his domain, he wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer.
Not Pinky, you're you. Who are
If
you?
you're telling me to shut up, pretty boy, are you gonna do something? You think I'm scared of people forgetting me? Oh, you have no idea. I just want a little more sense. If you do this, you'll never be the same again. Do you hear me? Never again!
Mr. Toon?
Huh?
You were just finishing the story about what had happened?
Oh, yeah, right. Long story short, nothing's been the same since I've come back. After all that chaos that happened with Cartoonz and, well, coming back, I've, look, promise that you won't think I'm crazy for this. The last thing I need is to check myself into a loony bin.
Take your time, Toon. You should know this is a safe environment to discuss whatever may be on your mind.
Right. I've been hearing things lately. Voices, well, specifically one voice, and I'm starting to see things right out of the corner of my eye, and I can swear it's him. I thought that after all of this he'd be gone for good, but it's like he's still there.
I remember hearing about some troubles you were getting into with some of the other Brony reviewers. What exactly have you been doing as of late to keep yourself in check, Mr. Toon?
Well, Actually, I'm not sure. I've just gone back to doing what I usually do. There's a newfound fire in me that feels good, like really good, like how I used to feel when I started doing all this. It felt good to, pardon my terms, get back on the saddle. But other than that, nothing really. I just assume this is all over. I guess not.
You just went back to doing what you normally did before? As in the exact environment which caused this alter ego of yours to slowly build and take control?
Well, no. I mean, yes, but not really. I thought things would have been different, but it wasn't exactly easy to get people back on my side. They had seen the kind of damage the Cartoonz had done, so I had to take some time to erase all that while still making my own content. As I said, nothing's really been the same. Well, it almost feels like I'm starting over. That spell I had to use to get rid of Cartoonz might have done something to me. Or maybe it's the residual effects of the amulet, or maybe...
I have little knowledge of pony magic, nor could I easily understand how these events are going to change you in the long term. But what is clear to me, Toon, is that your feelings of hesitation and shaken self-confidence were around long before anything having to do with Cartoonz. I fear that you have placed a lot of your past efforts on just maintaining the status quo, and rarely set foot outside of that comfort zone unless you had no other choice. When all is said and done, Toon, I believe your complacency was and is a large contributing factor to this alter ego of yours. Do you think there might be any truth to that?
There could be some truth to that. Of course, I've been frustrated where I'm at now, but that was never the main focus. I want to do what I think I do best, but with Cartoonz, when he became that, he was still a part of me. He was the guy who was unsatisfied with where he was and wanted to do something about it, but that was amplified way further than it ever should have been. And now that people know the truth, all of it, it made me start to realize the actual truth. Some things are just beyond me, and that ate me up, Doc, more than anything. Cartoonz called me a B+ player, and I have to fight that thought back every day. It's my past. It's in the past where it should belong, but it's just, I don't know what to do. It won't go away. It just won't go away. It won't stop. It won't shut up. It won't stop.
This is perhaps the most afraid I've seen you be in maybe ever, Mr. Toon. And honestly, I think that's the point. You don't like what you've become. You've spent so much of your focus putting on a show for the audience, in part because you are terrified of what you see when no one else is around. This gnawing at the back of your mind is more than just an aggressive nature trying to work its way out. I get the sense that you simply cannot be satisfied with who you are if nothing changes in the long run. I hope you won't think me too bold or insensitive when I say these things, Toon, but I've honestly been worried about where you've been trying to take yourself for some time now. You're placing nearly all your stock into a single long-term goal, and now your own subconscious is trying to tell you to step back and consider what you've really been doing. More than anything else, I feel this Cartoonz was attempting to keep you relevant, but only achieved a short-term gain while hurting a long-term sense of self-worth.
How would you be if you were in my position? That you've lived your life with this darkness inside of you that's been your shadow since you gave into it for the first time. You have anger, fear, jealousy, all of this hate just creates another side of you. Forgive me, I know this sounds like some stupid edgy backstory, but it's like, maybe this is just a part of me I can never be rid of. No matter what I do, he'll be there. What if there just becomes a point where we actually do become one? And that terrifies me, knowing there's that part of me where I can't tell if I'm me or him. Who exactly am I now then, Doc? Am I him or me?
Why do you feel the need to choose between them, Toon? Why do you think any one of us can find a way to simply purge ourselves of our weaknesses? Simply brush aside any part of who we are that we don't like? We all have to struggle in some form or another. For if we have no struggle, then there is no possibility for growth. We are given weaknesses so that we may be humble, that we can remind ourselves every day that we are flawed, imperfect. And if we humble ourselves while holding on to the belief that we can be greater than we ever thought ourselves capable of, only then can our weaknesses be made into great strengths. You want solace in your life, Mr. Toon? Don't turn yourself away from those flaws you find unacceptable. Instead, use them. See yourself from a new perspective and discover how much stronger you can be when whole.
You're saying I should accept him?
Accept him for what he was? No. Embrace him for what he could be, for what the two of you will be together. Rather difficult to accept, I know, but as I've said before, a life without struggle is a life without growth.
But what if he... What if this happens again, Doc? What if he tries to take over? I can't let that happen again. I can't hurt my friends again, not like that. But I know what he can become. If he is me, then maybe there is something that can be done.
It will likely take a great deal of self-reflection, Toon, but I believe you can change for the better. Shall we continue on this next week?
Yes, I think I should have come here sooner. Thank you, Doc. There's one thing you should know. I realize that I'll never be as good as you, Josh, or Silver, but I don't need to be, nor do I want to be, because I'm me. I'm the cult of personality for a reason. You chose me for a reason. It's time I start showing that once more.
It's good to be helping.